Just so everybody understands, we promised $250,000 to sponsor the leg from the art to Memorial Park. It's designed by Henry Clouseau. There's a little thing in here, folks. It's really cool. And so this is the second of that. And last December, we had a check for $50,000, 100 now. We have 100 more. It'll be due on next. So we're very, very excited of where we are and where we're going. And it's because of Coach Arian having an idea helps us move forward and leave a lasting where we are. So WestJax, our hats off to you for setting a pattern. Riverside, you were right behind them. We were expecting City Councilman Jimmy Gleason to be here because his district is the Rotary Way. That's cool too. We're all tied together. Anyhow, so thank you, West Jacksonville. Give you all stuff a standing ovation. Hey, it's all yours.
Thank you guys so much. The fact that Rotary has come together citywide to support the Emerald Trail project is hugely significant. It's progressive and it's incredibly meaningful to us because the Emerald Trail is a community project and needs to be supported by the community. And so you guys are stepping up in a really big way. So thank you so much. I don't know if we're calling it the Rotary Way, but the Rotary will definitely be recognized on the Emerald Trail. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kay. And before we move on behalf of the entire club and the board, Tommy, I did want to present you with this check. This is from the Rotary Club of West Jacksonville. It is the first 2/3 of our $25,000 contribution to the Rotary Way. To the Emerald Trail. Thank you all for your leadership on this project. What an exciting and ambitious project here in Jacksonville that's going to give us a much better community. Fellow Rotarians, it is now a pleasure to move on and call up President-elect Tim Johnson to announce the nominations for the Board of Directors in the 2024-2025 Rotary Year.
All right. Good afternoon, Rotarians. How are you today? Really exciting news. You know, great clubs develop great leaders and do great things. Recently, the nominating committee met to select their recommendations to lead the club and serve on our club's board beginning in July 2024. I want to thank the nominating committee for their help. After our meeting, the prospective nominees were contacted and asked for their willingness to serve if elected. I am pleased to submit the following candidate nominees for the officers and board of directors to serve during the 2024-2025 Rotary year. Beginning with the president, he's a great guy. I know him well, Tim Johnson. President-elect Raul Sharma, Treasurer Carter Rosenblum, Secretary William Milne, Sergeant-at-Arms Joe Springer, past President Dane Jensen. And our service club directors include Dan Dodd as Service Club Director, Vocational Service Director Will Tesh, Community Service Director Drew Bisbee, Mark Eldridge for International Service, and Judy Matheny for Youth Service. At this time, nominations are open from the floor until our annual meeting on January 24th. And at the annual meeting, all nominee names will be placed on the ballot where votes will be taken via voice vote. The candidate securing the highest number of votes shall be declared elected. Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic slate. Certainly they have my vote of approval. All right, Ed Lombard has an announcement about the football pool.
I want to congratulate John Barley and Judge Wallace for an identical tie in the last pool of the season. I was going to do one with Jack's last down. Wait till next year. We'll be back. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, guys. Mary Pat Wallmeyer has a pop-up about our Alhambra fundraiser.
We have a fundraiser April 24th. It's a Wednesday at the Alhambra. We're almost sold out on tickets. So, excuse me, for those who have tentatively reserved, we'd like for you to go ahead and commit, if you will, and then Patty will begin the billing process split over a couple of quarters. It is Escape from Margaritaville, and it's going to be a really fun night.
Yeah, so Jimmy Buffett can't do any better than that. And on top of that, all the proceeds are going to go to benefit all of our efforts in our youth services department. So certainly this is going to be a fantastic night. We hope that everybody will come out and join us. Judy Matheny has a pop-up about the blood drive.
Thank you so much, President Dean. You'll see on your tables, there's a sign-up sheet, and it is for next Wednesday, blood drive. And if you're wondering, didn't we see them recently? The reason is One Blood came to us. They see us as a very dependable club to give blood when they need it, and they had some desperate need. And so we had this second blood drive kind of sooner than we normally would. But if you are able to sign up to take one of the time slots, that would be absolutely excellent. Most of you have gone through this before, at least know what the specifics are. So, and if you don't and wonder if you could be a donor or shouldn't be, you can go online with them and see what the criteria is. But next Wednesday is the time to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Mike Crumpler has our family of Rotary.
Thank you, President Dean. I'm pitching for past District Governor Jerry McCool. Jerry, are you with us?
He is.
Actually, Jerry, I'm back soon. Good to see you. I remember when Jerry McCool became our district governor, and there's a long story that I won't share with you this morning without that. But it's a very interesting story that is genuinely a part of our Rotary history. And with that, I'd just like us to have a solemn remembrance as we turn this new year, calendar year and Rotary year, but I'd like us to remember those past Rotarians no longer with us, have gone on to their reward. Dave Collier, God bless Dave Collier, and also Dr. James Dyer. I love Dr. Dyer as well. Have gone on to their reward this year, and we will miss them dearly. And then on a more happier note, we do have birthdays that we'd like to celebrate this January. And the birthdays are Judith Matheny on January 9th, Joe Eberly, Go Blue. I think Joe is our Michigan alum who's all celebratory this year. I think there was a football game for the reason for that. Ken Baker has a birthday on January 13th. And then Brandon Hilliard has a birthday on January 15th. That's my mother's birthday. And Alberta Hips has a birthday on January 19th. Jim Overton has a birthday on January 20th. And our illustrious president, Dane Jensen, has a birthday on January 21st. And Michael Bryan has a birthday on, where's Mike? I usually see him on the left side, birthday on January 24th. In case you're wondering, I'm going to read these birthdays every week. So everybody loves to hear that they have a birthday. And so again, other news, I'd just like to say there's some celebration in the Dawson family. Carl Dawson has an impending wedding coming up this year. Do we have any? Yeah, young Carl. I know this. Okay. All right, so we have that, and then Josh Whitman is celebrating a new job. He's gonna work with Visit Jacksonville with our past president, Mike Horrigan. So congratulations, Josh. And again, just to finish up, we've had some Rotarians that have had fallen ill this past year, and so I asked you to keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and that is keep Phil Voss, past President Phil Voss, in your thoughts and prayers. Bill Howie, we'll tell everybody, Bill Howie, keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And then also, by all means, Scott Emery, please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And his lovely wife, Rose, has said that it'd be great if y'all could reach out to him and just pick up the phone and call him, and he'd love to hear from y'all. So please do. Again, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'd like to call up William Mooney, our Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, President Dane, and Happy New Year to all Rotarians and guests today. We are very fortunate to have a number of guests today, and thank you so much to Past Sister Governor Tommy Grimes for all of your great work. I'm going to give you your microphone, and would you please introduce all of your guests?
This year is a result of being invited by me to get here. And we're out. Yeah, we got a bunch of folks here from lots of other clubs, all supporting the Emerald Trail, and that's why we're here once again, because y'all set the tone. It's going to make this very, very successful. Thank you very much.
Doug Benfield and Porter Rosenblum. My buddy, long-term friend, Will Gibbs, is here today. Y'all welcome him. Thank you. And Josh Harrison, you have a guest? Welcome. Thank you for being here. And Mr. Kim Baker? Wonderful. Tom Schneider?
Yep. My guest today is my daughter Ellen. She came all the way from Portland, Oregon.
Wonderful. Welcome. All right. And we have a number of visiting Rotarians today from the Riverside Club. We have, I want to make sure I get it right, Nadidi Every. Nadidi Every. Welcome for being here. And from the Riverside Club, Mr. Tim Naskin? Yes. Thank you. Welcome. And last but certainly not least, from the Rivers, our also a past Sister Governor, welcome Mr. Percy Rosenberg. For our Rotary history moment and fun fact for the day, the Every Rotarian an Example to Youth motto. In much of the official literature of Rotary International relating to service to young people, a special slogan will be found that says, Every Rotarian an Example to Youth. These words were adopted in 1949 by the Rotary International Board of Directors as an expression of commitment to children and youth in each community in which Rotary clubs exist. Serving young people has long been an important part of the Rotary program. Youth service projects take many forms around the world. Rotarians sponsor Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops, athletic teams, handicapped children's centers, school safety patrols, summer camps, recreation areas, safe driving clinics, county fairs, child care centers, and children's hospitals. Many clubs provide vocational counseling, establish youth employment program, and promote the 4-way test. The slogan, accepted over 40 years ago, is just as vital today in everything that we do, and it is a very thoughtful challenge to all of us. Every Rotarian an example to you. President Dane, this concludes my report.
All right, fellow Rotarians, without further ado, I would like to call up President-elect Tim Johnson to introduce today's speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Rotarians, and guests, our esteemed guest for today is Dr. Jacob Atem. He has a remarkable journey that reflects resilience, triumph over adversity. At the tender age of 6, he faced the brutalities of war in Sudan, losing family members and enduring heroic escapes. His odyssey, marked by perilous encounters with both human and natural threats, eventually led him to safety in Kenya. Dr. Jacob's tenacity and determination brought him to the United States at the age of 15, where he not only overcame the challenges of adaptation, but excelled academically, earning both a bachelor's and master's degree. His pursuit of knowledge culminated in a PhD in environmental and global health from the University of Florida. And today, Dr. Atem resides in Florida with his wife, Linda, and their 3 sons. Please join me in expressing gratitude to past President Ike Sherlock for bringing this inspiring speaker to our club. And let's extend a warm West Jax Rotary welcome to Dr. Jacob Atem.
I love this shirt. Y'all see this shirt that my brother got on?
I got it from Rotary International in Australia. Who went to Australia? Yes, here we go. So that's where I got it, in the House of Friendship. So good place next year, get a shirt like this. So thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I am extremely excited for the invitation. And all of you, the president, and Dane, thank you so much. This is the day I've been looking for, because as a young Rotarian, let me just say it, I'm not going to reveal my age, but it's my birthday was January 1st. So, but I would attest that I am a young Rotarian in the last 3 years. And not to deviate from how much we love Rotary, one of our colleagues early shared about who introduced him to Rotary. You see, what I had been doing, I didn't know was Rotary. Until a gentleman 3 years ago, I was a guest speaker actually at Rotary. I'm part of Rotary Club of Gainesville. And this gentleman, after I talked, he said, would you consider joining? And there were some challenges. So one thing I love about Rotary is not just people invest in you. This sponsor of mine went as far as saying, you know what, you will join. And he paid for my dues for a couple of years. And I mean, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, someone is paying for you. So I'm not trying to advertise, but if there are some people who want to sponsor people to join Rotary, we welcome. But that's how I was introduced to Rotary. And it become what Tommy is saying, Rotary way. Once you become a Rotarian, I always joke, there's my fellow African, I say, once you become friend with African, you're a friend forever. And that's what Rotary means so much to me. So today, I'm gonna talk a couple of things. One is, when I came to this country, I started sharing my story and the power of storytelling. Why is it important? As a Rotarian, I always pray and say, you know what, God, whatever you can, use me wherever it is, whether here in the United States or help back home when it was once destroyed. That's how I view Rotary. Use me where you can. If it is Rotary International, we got opportunity. If it is locally, like this amazing project that Tommy has said, let's do it. And the Rotary way, the full way test. So I became in love with that. So I'm going to share a little bit about my life story as a lost boy of Sudan. That's one. Second of all is deep dive into some of the projects that we are doing with Rotary, locally here and international. So to start it with, that's why I say sustainable South Sudan projects. For some of you who've been in Rotary, you know that word, sustainable. It's a key word there. I've been in nonprofit. I co-founded this organization called Southern Sudan Healthcare Organization in 2008. But I'm thinking Rotary way, how to sustain it and how to help more people. And that's why I say sustainable South Sudan projects. So before I got into that, let me ask you this question. Have any one of you, and by the way, when I do my lecture, I like talking. So if you're shy and I call on you, sorry. Tommy, you and I could go together. I can see we can talk. So I want to kind of ask questions. Some of us who like research always ask statistics and numbers. So let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the Lost Boys of Sudan? And if you did, where and when? Anyone? Yes, back there.
Before I retired, I was retired from one of the camps in the Penn State. And there was a church in Philadelphia that sponsored a lot of the Lost Boys.
Wow.
A number of them came to our campus for the first 2 years of the Penn State Museum. And I got to know a few of them a little bit better than today.
That's right. Wow. I have friends now from Penn State. You'll be proud of us. When we came here, by the way, I didn't know any lick of English in 2001. But a few friends of mine who went to Penn State now are working with the government, with NASA. That's a good thing. So, someone else, how did you learn about the Lost Boys? Yes.
I'm an Anglican priest, and my first position was in Midland, Texas.
Yes.
And the church there, with a bunch of other churches, were really involved with sponsoring, Lost Boys and having them come and speak and share the story. So that was about 20 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I might just sit down here and just let somebody come share the stories. You guys are well aware of this. To bring it closer to home, Jacksonville has the largest South Sudanese community ever around here. I just text my friend, I said, I'm in West Jacksonville because my in-laws used to be on the highway 1. I never came. He's like, oh, one of my best friends was a lot. It's like a mile from here. So we are all over the place. And when we came early 2001, we were all in the news. Let me just start with this. Sudan was the largest country in Africa. Of course, now later split to South Sudan, where I'm from. And now, in the last, since April, the North Sudan is in a terrible, terrible crisis, similar to what happened with Hamas and Israel. They're in war. Sudan obtained its independence in 1956, January 1st, from British. And what happened is, after the British has given the power, it happened that predominantly most of the leaders come from up north, North Sudan. South Sudan, you go, they're predominantly Christian and what we call Christian animistics. They're kind of like believing like deism type of thing. Like God created the earth and left and we never communicated. There are some people who believe that. North Sudan is predominantly Muslim. So right away, the power went to the north. And from the north, as you guys know, power corrupts, right? So some people would argue, what was the war about, right? So from 1956 to 1972, right away, there was a civil war between the North and the South. Some claim it's religious war. Some claim is economic. Some claim it's just power, right? So, but the major one was in the Northern Sudan was claiming that they are what they call Sharia law. They have to have Sharia law. In the South, they were opposing that because they say they're Christian. And then you add the politics of it. So right away, there was civil war. And Sudan has been in civil wars way before that. So I want to say that all I know was war. I grew up in the war, and everybody grew up in the war. Fast forward until 72, they have something called a Addis Ababa Agreement in Ethiopia. Sudan only been in peace from 72 to 82. And then in 83, there's another civil war. That civil war is what displaced most of us, the lost folks. It has killed not only my relative, but it killed 2.5 million people. I don't know about you if you love cows, but I love cows. I got 3 sons now. When I ask them, what do you do for fun? They were like, we're playing video game and all this. Well, my fun was I grew up near the Nile River. I grew up where I was about 6 or 7 years old. And the reason I say that I was not born in a hospital, your birthday, as fellow Rotarian was saying earlier here, you'll be remembered on what year, what happened that year. For example, September 11th, nobody forget about it. Pearl Harbor, nobody forget about it. World War II. So your birthday is always associated with what happened that year, not a technical like you were born in this particular day. So I was really young. And so what happened is we have a division of labor. We are more pastoralists, where I came from the Dinka tribe, where all the guys are 7'7". You probably heard of the Nut Bowl. Nowadays, I just have a relative, young 15-year-old playing in Daytona, 7'2" at high school. So I don't know where I came from, but the point, I'm just saying that they are tall, skinny people, whatever they're eating. I guess I did not have that gene, but I grew up looking after the cattle. And so what you would do is you look after the calf, and the big cow, someone is looking after him. That's the life I grew up with. And unfortunately, when the North Sudan Armed Forces start attacking southernward, to the point that one day I was tending the cattle, where all I could see from a distance is the whole village is obliterated. It's the whole village is burned. Now I was so young, and I had to head with my cousin 1 or 2 days. And as a child, I have more questions than answers. I said, okay, 1 day went by, 2 days, and then now all the cows are gone. You see everybody is marching the opposite. You don't know who's alive and who's not. Later on, you learn who's dead. But the problem was, I was so young. God forbid, in this room right now, if anything happened, this is all we have. We don't have time to go say bye-bye to our loved one. You gotta go. So we started walking toward Ethiopia. And if I could go to the next, I hope I can point. Did I get it right? Technology. Oh, here it is. Okay. Look at this picture. We start walking. And as we start walking, we face so many things. It's not just the Sudan Armed Forces that were coming after us with their AK-47, their guns and their tanks. It didn't stop there. It didn't just stop, they burned the village and stop there. No. They are coming up with the all Russian-made helicopter. It's called the Antonov, for some of you who are probably in the military. This thing would go toward the east, toward the sun. By the time you hear the sound, ooh, ooh, like that, it already dropped all the bombs. And all the shrapnel, it cut from anything lower than this. Many times it has given me has traumatized me where I've seen friends being killed. They're cut off like chicken because of the bombing. And to mitigate that, you either had to go under the bunker, and if you do, you have 5, 50, 100 people piling on top of you. So we ended up broken bones and whatever. So the threat is coming from the air. Well, even if the threat doesn't come from there and they are following you, now you're faced with, look at this closely. Let me just ask any of you, what do you see do we have here?
Kids.
Kids. And do we have shoes? It's just grab whatever you can. And it's not just a one-day thing. It becomes 3 to 4 months tracking to Ethiopia border. And the hardest part, the enemy is tracking with you. Now you add the wild animals. They start attacking us. We didn't have food and water. And speaking of United Nations, some of you may be like, yeah, where's the UN? Well, I always tell the people, UN is good if you survive. Because once you are in a refugee camp, and it makes sense, right? No one in their right mind would start seeing war happening and you start going. That's why I said UN is good if you survive. I was young, and as a lost boy, my cousin later served in Iraq. You know why? Because that's the America we know, is giving back. And then as a side note, as a proud American citizen right now, it used to drive me nuts when I see body of our men and women in uniform coming from war and people protesting. I would tell them, do you understand, if I had a power when I was 6 or 7, when I see the whole village and my family being murdered, do you think I would just stand like this? No, it's the fact that I didn't have power. So that's another thing I would talk about, great country called America, the freedom we have right now. So as you can see, as we walk, it was a treacherous journey. There's so multiple things you can die from. Add diseases. I have a big scar right here when I ran into a sharp tree because there was an attack of the lion. At that particular time, I was skinny. I could see my own bone. I'm lucky that I didn't have tennis. And that's the passion. Later, I would share with you why I became public health practitioner, why I created this organization that helped thousands of people in South Sudan, particularly with women and children. There was cholera outbreak. There was Shigella outbreak. All what we call communicable diseases. There was issue with malaria. If I ask you, when was the last time you had malaria? It's not that. So add the diseases on top of us walking. So it was hard. And then you're chasing. I remember one incident. If I can go, next one. Okay, briefly about this story. I was tracking with my sister and we hid next to the Nile. The enemy attacked us at 1 a.m. Finally, we hit near the perfect example. This is good. So imagine there is an island inside this water. I believe this is St. John, right? And we hid it there. Now we couldn't come out. We were like on the ground like this. We went at 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. There was no food. So the kids start crying. My aunt started coming out and make some powdered milk. Well, she came one time, and the second time I told her, please do not go out. She didn't listen to me. As she was coming, she went back, the enemy spotted her, and they sprayed all the bullets, AK-47 on her. They shot her on the hip, but the worst part is she just exposed our position. Now we have choice, either you literally dive in and we didn't know how to swim, or you have to come out to be captured. And I freaked out. I jumped in the Nile River, and by God's grace, up to today, I don't know how I survived. I was going up and down. I was just drowning up and down. I remember this lengthy guy grabbed my hand, put me down, and he went underneath, never seen him up to today, swam away. The next thing I know is the enemy already infiltrated. They were stepping on my head, and we got captured. So as we came out, what they would do is women would be captured to carry the ammunition. The boys, just like in the old scripture, boys would retaliate. I was the only boy with my God uniform. I didn't have this nice Rotary clothes. And there was 2 gentlemen holding AK-47. They were debating whether they should kill me or not. I remember that vividly. And I remember to the left of my corner, I could see my cousin who's 7'7", and they killed him and tied his hand behind the tree. And I remember him even a few years ago. He would come at night to chase me. I was really traumatized. They took about 50 women, and it was only me and my stepmother were let go. I don't know why. So as we let go, I had my sister. I thought she drowned like me, but literally did I know she was captured. They captured her. She was near later to an old gentleman out of her will. until 30 something, 31 years I've been looking for. Never give up. Came to learn that she got 3 children. Number one, 3 children all died. And the enemy thought it's because they have killed me. They thought they made a shrine for me to pray. They would always kill one bull, one cow, because they thought they said, forgive us for killing you, and that's why you are killing your nieces and nephews. 30 years, I was able to find her, and it was not easy. After a while, I brought the enemy and her, and we were able to, the first time was 2 years ago. I was able to hug her, and it was hard because I brought the enemy who not only killed me, but killed the relatives and the person, my sister. Imagine your loved one being kidnapped for 30-something years. I was just in high school asking kids, what would you do? One kid said, well, find a lawyer. I heard some of you got an attorney, and they should be prosecuted and go to jail. And I said, you're right. But you know what? Back to Rotary. What do we talk about? Peace. I was able to make peace with myself and my loved one. I'm now taking care of my sister in Uganda refugee camp, despite my past history. So you can see Rotary Way, there are things that can hearken our heart. One of them is peace. It could be individual peace. It's not easy to forgive, or it could be a bigger peace, hopefully, in these crazy wars that are happening. So Southern Sudan Healthcare Organization, when I came to this country, the only reason I co-found this, as you all know, we say here, services above yourself. I was brought to Michigan, was in a foster care, don't know how to speak English, but I know one thing. Many people has helped me. One American wrote a letter to the congressman and say, if you can bring these lost boys to America, they will be proud American citizens. And they will go back and help their country, and they will help this country. Sometimes when you lose hope, you never know who can help you. That one man, the Lost Boy Resettlement is the largest resettlement in American history. 3,889 Lost Boys were brought and was disrupted because of September 11th. Let me tell you America I know. America that cared for others. And so you can give back. I knew, I was like, who am I to be selfish? First time from eating dirt, drinking urine to like, nice meal we had today, and rice and beans, and you are not sleeping on the floor, you are on the mattress. It's just completely different. That's America that I know. I remember both Democrat and Republican passed the bill, states that it's good for us to come here legally. I think you guys didn't hear me. Both Democrats and Republicans passed the bill to say it was good. That is the America I can brag about. Without not getting into politics, I have a homework for you. If you can get the Democrat and Republican to agree on one thing that is good, let me know. So that's a miracle to be here. So I co-found this with just $25. And with this, I was able to build a clinic that cost $800,000 in the village that was once destroyed, in my own village, Omar. And the rest became history. So we have 2 clinics we support. The Mar, and unfortunately, there was a huge flooding happening in 2020. So you can see the 10 at the bottom there in Mangala. We also support our district here. We're able to give me some, we built a maternity ward, and we were able to staff it. There's only one midwife for 39,000 patients. There's one doctor for 65,000. Women died from childbirth. 1 in every 50 women died from childbirth, and that is unacceptable. As you know, we'll talk soon about some of the projects that we do, including as Rotary, maternal and child health, and all that. We have 6, what we call 6 pillars: health, education, agriculture, economic development, community development, and emergencies. In fact, our district, again, some of you may remember when I spoke, there was about 15,000. Right now, there's a huge influx of refugee coming from Sudan war, over 2 million. We are now at the border, try to help with them as much as we can because of the emergencies. The flooding happened, and that's what we have. I remember, if I could go to the next one, we did well because in 2020, what was happening is the kids were going to the Nile fetching water, and they were being eaten by crocodile. So I asked a donor, so can we do the well? And that's the well we have now. I just sent one of the Rotarian there, and there's not enough for 100,000. So what we're going to do, we are partnering with Downtown Rotary Club of Gainesville and Rotary Club in Juba, and we're going to try to go for other partners, Rotary in our district, to can we do more water and agriculture, and maybe some sort of sustainable fish farming, and just do the whole ecosystem. And now we are working on that, and hopefully to have a global grant. This is when I was in Australia. That's where I got this, and it happened. My brother was there in Australia, so I stayed with him. So what do SNCO and Rotary have in common? Well, we have these areas of focus: fighting diseases, providing clean water, sanitation and hygiene, saving mothers is a big one, and children, supporting education and growing local economy. We have to make them sustainable. Are you clicking on me?
You're pointing and I'm clicking.
Okay, good. Okay.
You just point and I'll take care.
So again, health, wash, support. As I said, our district is really involved with us. We try to help them with the more important thing is wash, water and sanitation, education, and mothers. Point at you. Okay. So what are the ways club can partner? Well, we have maternal and child health program. We just built a school, so we have a school program that has challenges with teachers and also increasing, and we want half of them to be girls because girls need to go to school, and when you educate women, the whole community is thriving. Microloan is another big one we do. Nutrition. People are malnourished right now; they cannot cultivate, and so we try to find nutrition supplement. And emergency, like we are responding at the Sudan border with the refugees crisis. And I just heard, thank you, Tom. It looked like there's more club here. I'm not going to name any club, but I'm always refer me to speak to other club if they're available. So these are our partners so far, but I want to leave a little time if there is time for questions. So Rotary Club of Juba is our local club that we partner. Rotary Club of Gainesville, where I'm from, and Downtown Rotary Club. So we are looking for more partners for this Rotary International grant we want to do for water for over 100,000. Next one. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, President Dane. I don't know how we're doing, but I hope there's time for questions. It's last, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, questions. I throw so much at you. Who has a question?
Please raise your hand and I'll roll the mic over to you.
And I got some cards you needed later.
Thank you. Excellent program. Very informative. I was interested in the microloan program. What are the, where are they going to? What are the businesses that you fund and are forming?
So good question about microloan. You see the financial institution in South Sudan is not great. No one get loan anyway. But what we find is we have this school. If we can empower, particularly women, they have incredible ideas. Even just selling tea. Okay, if you give them 500, you can see that the money can thrive. So we go directly to go there. Kiva, we're trying to partner with them because that's another partner. But we go directly with the expert that we have. But we're trying to see if we can partner with Kiva and if they have partners that work with them to come and train them financial literacy. And maybe we call them in Arabic a sandu. So if we, let's say a lady came up, wanted to do tea business. So we give 500 and then you wait and you pay it back. So we go directly to these refugees, but we have many ideas. What we don't have is that basic financial support to be able to, especially women in internally displaced camp. So we just go directly sometimes, hold them accountable, but there's no opportunity for them like the government to do what we want to do. So yeah, thank you. Next question.
Next, right? Okay, oh, John?
Is it stable there now, or is it still, we're going on? And
Yeah.
people are back?
So thank you for that. I am giving 2024 started right because I'm the first speaker here. So you are getting a fresh invitation. I'm going to go into the country in March and in May. So if there's any fellow Rotarian here, like I said, the district is supporting us, this grant we're about to do, but more important, the skills, right? If you're a nurse, if you just want to come and see, I'm a firm believer that it's great we give money, but you got to come and see. So yeah, it's it's not that far. It's relatively stable. We are very active in the cluster, like the UN system. If we have to go far, we use the UN helicopter. So yeah, it's relative. Well, I mean, when I say relative, anything can happen, but it's much better than 2013. I can tell you that much. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes? Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Jacob. I mean, every time I hear that presentation, it's more and more meaningful. It's a startling reminder of not only what some people go through in the world, but just how fortunate we have it here. Just an outstanding presentation. I thank you very much. I'd like to thank all of our guests and visiting Rotarians for being with us here today. Certainly, we hope that you will come back and join us next week. We will be right here again for another lunch meeting. And I would like Lee Davis to lead us in the four-way test.
Say or do first, second,
All concerned, will it build goodwill and better friendships, will be beneficial to all concerned.
Thanks once again for being here with us for our first program in 2024. Let's go make the world a better place.